Scooby wearing? They look like some crazy kind of glasses.
You must have found them at the museum.
Man, I wonder what kind of groovy things you see with those.
Well, there's one way to find out.
Saturday mornings were never the same once Scooby-Doo and the gang rolled onto the scene in 1969. Decades later, even die-hard fans missed some of the quirkiest twists and behind-the-scenes secrets in the show's history. Here's a countdown of the 15 weirdest and most surprising facts about the original Scooby-Doo. Number 1. The character was inspired by Frank Sinatra. Let's go back to Saturday morning in the late 60s, when mystery and laughter went hand-in-hand with soggy cereal. It's hard to imagine Scooby-Doo without his unforgettable name, but few know that this Great Dane's moniker owes everything to the smooth crooning of Frank Sinatra. In 1966, producer Fred Silverman was driving and brainstorming with only his car radio for company. As Sinatra's Strangers in the Night rolled in, Silverman heard Old Blue Eyes casually riff, "Dooby Dooby Doo." That playful moment stuck. Scooby-Doo, once nearly called Too Much, was born from a jazzman's ad-lib. Sinatra's lighthearted nonsense changed cartoon history. Without his whimsical delivery, the world might never have heard Velma's Jinkies or seen Shaggy outwit ghosts with a sandwich in each hand. So the next time you hear Sinatra's velvet tones, remember how a simple phrase shaped an icon. Up next, uncover what other oddball sparks helped define the Mystery Machine Gang. Number 2. Scooby's real name is revealed in one episode. Think you know everything about Scooby-Doo? Here's a fact even some die-hard fans miss. In the late 1980s spin-off, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, audiences got a surprise. The show revealed the iconic dog's full name, Scoobert Doo. It happened during a moment of playful banter between the young Mystery Inc. crew, first airing in 1988 and sending shockwaves through Saturday morning cartoons. The name always had a ring of zaniness fit for a Great Dane who talks and loves giant sandwiches, but hearing Scoobert felt like discovering your best friend's secret nickname after years of adventures. While the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, never gave much away about Scooby's origins, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo unwrapped a piece of the backstory no one really expected. It's one of those details that brings a smile when you stumble on it, inviting fans to look a little closer at the mysteries nestled within their favorite childhood haunt. Secrets like this are what make rewatching these classics so endlessly rewarding, because who knew Scooby had a formal side hiding all along? Number 3. Each villain was inspired by classic horror icons. Through foggy graveyards and echoing hallways, the villains of Scooby-Doo were always larger than life. But did you know that many of those ghoulish looks came straight from the playbook of classic Hollywood horror? Take the Black Knight, lurching with a stoic menace, or the unforgettable Creeper, whose hunched posture chilled spines. Both drew their look from Universal Monster, icons that haunted screens in the 1930s and 1940s. The show's artists used these familiar shadows to pay loving tribute, mixing enough dramatic flair to captivate adults and enough slapstick to keep kids giggling. This recipe created a familiar yet safe kind of fright, a knowing wink to parents raised on Boris Karloff's Frankenstein or Bela Lugosi's Dracula, all while wrapping monster mayhem in Scooby's signature wit. Next time you spot an unmasking, look closer. You might just catch a glimpse of silver screen nightmares peeking out beneath the rubber mask. It's a spirited bridge between yesterday's chills and the zany mysteries just around the next dark corner. Number 4. The laugh track was tacked on afterward. Soft giggles promised safety, even when ghosts lurked in the shadows. Scooby-Doo, that floppy-eared mystery lover, first ambled onto Saturday mornings in 1969, and behind every chase and creaky hallway, a laugh track hummed along, stitched in after the fact. This wasn't just a relic of old TV, it was a careful choice. Producer Joe Ruby knew that, for kids, laughter took the edge off zombie pirates and haunted masks. It made every unmasking a bit less frightening, turning shrieks into punchlines. Like other Hanna-Barbera cartoons, the canned chuckles gave comfort, an audio wink that everything spooky would turn out okay. Even that iconic meddling kids accusation felt lighter when followed by friendly laughter. The legacy of Scooby's laugh track lives on in fans who recall both the chills and the charm. Next, let's slip down another corridor of TV secrets, listening closely for echoes of our own childhood delight. Number 5. Shaggy's voice actor was a real-life vegetarian. It might come as a surprise, but every time you watched Shaggy chow down with Scooby, there was a subtle real-life twist. Casey Kasem, the man behind Shaggy's unforgettable voice, was more than just a master of comic timing. He was a passionate vegetarian. In the late 1970s, Qasim asked Hanna-Barbera to keep meat off Shaggy's menu. Production took his wish to heart. By the time later series rolled out in the 1980s and 1990s, Shaggy's sandwiches quietly swapped out bologna for tofu, hamburgers for veggie burgers. No more ham hidden in a sub, just an endless parade of pickles, lettuce, and creative snacks. Every oversized sandwich became a tribute to Qasim's values and a wink to sharp-eyed fans. It's proof that even a cartoon as zany as Scooby-Doo could sneak in real-world kindness. Next time you hear that unmistakable, like, wow, Scoob, you just might imagine Shaggy's sandwich stuffed with sprouts instead of steak, and smile at the story behind the snack. Let's pause for a second. Did you ever notice what Shaggy and Scooby actually ate on their wild food runs? Which cartoon snack, giant hoagies or Scooby Snacks, would you grab if you could? Number 6. There's a reason for all those reused animation backgrounds. A creaky hallway, a swirling corridor, and there go Velma and Daphne, dashing past the same portrait 3 times in a single chase. That wasn't your imagination. It was Hanna-Barbera's clever trick, recycling backgrounds to save both time and cash. When Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? hit CBS in 1969, Saturday mornings turned mysterious. But with tight budgets and tight deadlines, the animators looped backgrounds and reused running cycles, creating that now iconic effect where Shaggy, Scooby, and the gang seemed locked in hilarious déjà vu. Those repeating doors or identical staircases added to the zany charm, letting eagle-eyed viewers feel like insiders who spotted the gag. Kids at home caught on to the ruse, sharing sly grins with friends as they rooted for Scooby to finally find an exit that wasn't just painted plywood. These penny-pinching shortcuts didn't detract. They gave Scooby-Doo its quirky personality and shaped a whole era's style of TV. Next time you picture the gang sprinting down a haunted hallway that never ends, you'll know there's real animation history in every loop. And with every recycled corridor, Hanna-Barbera made stretching a dollar look like pure, endless fun. Number 7. Fred's neck scarf has a backstory. Every Saturday morning, you saw Fred Jones at the front of the Mystery Machine. Always cool, always steady, with that crisp blue neck scarf tied tight. But Fred's accessory was more than a style statement. It was a tribute, quietly tucked into the show by the original supervising director, Iwao Takamoto. Takamoto often wore a scarf to the Hanna-Barbera studios in the late 1960s, and his team decided to immortalize their leader's look on Fred when Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Premiered in 1969. Most kids just saw a groovy leader solving spooky mysteries, yet attentive animators in the know spotted the personal nod, an inside joke stitched into one of animation's most recognizable outfits. Even decades later, that ascot remains a silent shout-out to the guy sketching things just out of sight. So next time you picture the gang jumping out of the van, remember, every tiny detail can tell a bigger story. Let's head to our next strange secret about the world's most famous mystery-solving crew. Number 8. Scooby Snacks were an afterthought. Picture it, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy quivering behind a suit of armor, eyes bulging, sniffing the promise of a Scooby snack. That signature bite of courage almost never existed. These now iconic treats were dreamed up midway through the first season of Scooby-Doo Where Are You?, which first aired on CBS in 1969. The writers needed something, anything, that could lure Scooby and Shaggy into haunted mansions and shadowy corridors. So they tossed in the idea of a bribe, a mystical munchie with hypnotic power over the world's hungriest Great Dane. Nobody at Hanna-Barbera saw what would happen next. Kids instantly latched onto the phrase, chanting for Scooby. Snacks in kitchens and playgrounds across America. Merchandisers took note. Soon, shelves filled with real-life boxed treats inspired by the cartoon's invention. A quirky case of fiction fueling childhood cravings. It all started as a quick fix, a plot device cooked up in a rush. But Scooby Snacks, imagined in the writer's room, became a symbol of courage and comfort. Next, we unravel more stories hiding behind zany mysteries and snack-craving detectives. Number 9. Daphne was temporarily written out. Imagine turning on your Saturday morning TV in 1976, bowl of cereal in hand, only to realize that Daphne Blake was missing from the latest adventures on the Scooby-Doo show. For several episodes, the famous redhead was written out of the gang as producers toyed with mixing up the lineup, curious if the mystery ink or formula would still sparkle. In her place, you might spot more of Velma or even the bumbling duo of Shaggy and Scooby catching extra limelight while Fred led the group. But it didn't feel quite right, did it? The shift was quickly noticed, especially by loyal fans. Letters poured into Hanna-Barbera, practically begging for Daphne's return. The message was clear. Mystery Inc. simply wasn't the same without her flair, style, and knack for getting into trouble. So by the end of that 1976 run, Daphne was back alongside her friends, proving sometimes you don't know what you've got until it's gone. Sometimes it takes takes just a short absence to remind us who truly belongs at the heart of the mystery. Number 10. Actual celebrities. Guest starred on the new Scooby-Doo movies. If you were parked on the carpet in front of the TV on a Saturday morning in the early 1970s, you might remember something surreal. Suddenly, the gang on Scooby-Doo wasn't just unmasking villains, they were hanging out with Hollywood legends. In 1972, the new Scooby-Doo movies arrived, bringing along a wild twist. Animated versions of real celebrities strolled into each episode, from Don Knotts trying to solve mysteries to Sonny and Cher puzzling out haunted mansions, and Batman and Robin swinging into action alongside Shaggy and Scooby himself. Each guest got their own outrageous episode, offering a playful blend of mystery and pop culture. It was TV cross-promotion before anyone called it that, making Scooby-Doo among the first cartoons to feature real-world celebrity cameos. The show aired for 2 seasons on CBS, redefining what a Saturday morning cartoon could be, and giving young fans the sense that anyone might drop by to help solve a spooky crime. The magic of those team-ups lingers. Sometimes you never knew who would join your favorite mystery gang next. Number 11. The gang's van has a hidden message. Behind the swirls and sunshine yellow flowers of Scooby-Doo's mystery machine lies a secret most viewers never caught. That outrageous van, sliding across Saturday mornings on CBS since 1969, wasn't only a design choice. Its saturated blues and greens paid homage to the psychedelic art movement that was blooming all over late 60s America. Artist and designer Bob Singer, drawing inspiration from concert posters and swirling tie-dye, built a joyful, rolling symbol of the times. But Bob snuck something extra into his creation. Hidden in the looping paintwork are his own initials, a subtle signature in a world of groovy nonsense. You could stare at that van for years, giggling along with Shaggy, and never realize the creator's secret is right there on the side door. Sometimes it's the little unnoticed details that make a world truly magical. Next, we peek behind the scenes even further, where playful winks and hidden gags became a Scooby-Doo tradition. Number 12. Velma almost didn't wear glasses. It's hard to imagine Velma Dinkley without her unmistakable round glasses. But back in the studio halls of Hanna-Barbera in 1969, producers wrestled with a different vision. Contacts were the rage, and there were fears that letting a main character rock those big frames would come off as stuffy or behind the times. But they stuck with the glasses, thankfully. In doing so, they handed generations of clever, slightly shy kids their own hero in a skirt and sweater, who was just as much a part of the mystery as Flashy Fred or Daring Daphne. Nicole Jaffe voiced Velma in the first season, bringing a mix of book smarts and plucky energy that gave those glasses a proud place in pop culture. Every time she knelt down, squinting for clues and shouting, "My glasses! I can't see without my glasses!" it felt real, classic, and exactly right. And for millions, that simple accessory was what made her not just smart, but truly seen, just in time for the next mystery to begin. Number 13. Scooby's famous catchphrase was improvised. Every Scooby-Doo fan can picture it. The trembling Great Dane stares down danger and lets out a legendary "Roo-row." But here's the twist. That famous catchphrase was never in the original script. It was the quick wit of voice actor Don Messick during recording sessions for the first season in 1969 that brought "Roo-row" to life. Messick, already a veteran voice talent, riffed the line while searching for the curious, goofy qualities that defined Scooby. Producers loved it, animators ran with it, and suddenly, Scooby-Doo had a new signature sound, one that generations of kids would echo in playgrounds and living rooms alike. This off-the-cuff magic turned an ordinary line into TV legend. Sometimes the best moments are the ones nobody plans. Next up, let's dig into another mystery hidden behind the sound booth curtain. Number 14. Shaggy was intended to be a beatnik. Picture Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, nervously clutching a sandwich, mouth agape in terror. But if you'd peeked at the earliest scripts from 1969, you'd barely recognize him. Shaggy was first crafted as the ultimate 1960s beatnik, right in line with Greenwich. Village coffee houses, spouting phrases like groovy and man with effortless cool. His role had more edge, more counterculture attitude, and less of that lovable, stoned confusion. Enter Casey Kasem, the legendary radio DJ whose smooth, unmistakably mellow delivery flipped the script. Kasem dialed down the cool, amping up the goofball. That laid-back vocal style transformed Shaggy into the snack-obsessed, high-strung best buddy we know today, salt of the earth and relatable to kids everywhere. The beatnik vibes faded, but a new cartoon icon was born. It's wild to imagine Shaggy ever being anything but the awkward, scaredy-cat sidekick. Yet every time you hear that squeaky "Zoinks!", you're tuning into more than a catchphrase. You're hearing the evolution of American youth culture, one Scooby snack at a time. Next up, we'll uncover another hidden turn along Mystery Inc.'s storied road. Number 15. The show's original title was totally different. Picture this. In the earliest planning stages, the Scooby-Doo gang wasn't even called Scooby-Doo. Back in 1969, the series was originally pitched as Mysteries 5. The cast looked different too, with a bongo-playing dog named Too Much, a far cry from our familiar snack-loving Great Dane. It wasn't just the name that was up for grabs. The entire tone shifted after network executives stepped in, worried that the title and premise needed to be lighter and more fun for Saturday mornings. The result? Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Debuted on CBS the same year, forever changing animated mystery solving for generations of kids. Shaggy, Velma, Daphne, and Fred all got their final tweaks, and Too Much became Scooby-Doo, named after a line in Frank Sinatra's Strangers in the Night. Without that fresh direction, we'd probably remember a very different dog, and a show that never added Scooby Snacks to the cartoon lexicon. Just imagine, would you have tuned in for Mysteries 5? Or is Scooby-Doo the only name that feels right?